A very good morning to all of you. So today's our topic of discussion is that of spectrophotometer. Spectrophotometer is one of the important topic for both UG and PG. Spectrophotometer is also asked for, important for the UG students also. And besides spectrophotometer, UG students also must read this colorimeter. So colorimeter and spectrophotometer both are important for the UG student, and for PG students rather than colorimeter, this colorimeter is asked sometimes, but spectrophotometer for PG students is very important. So you cannot skip this topic. So we will understand in today's session what is spectrophotometer, on what principle it works, and what are the application. And in the next session or next video, we will just study what are the how the instrumentation, how it works, and what is the difference between single beam and double beam, and difference between spectrophotometer and colorimeter. Okay. So today's our topic of discussion in this topic is that of what is spectrometer, what is the principle of a spectrometer, what is types of a spectrometer, and what are the application. Okay. So let's start the topic. So what is a spectrophotometer? Spectrophotometer is what? It is a instrument. What is the? It is what? It is an instrument. Spectrophotometer is a kind of instrument. And for what purpose it is used? It is instrument which is used. It is instrument which is used to find out the unknown, find out the concentration of an unknown sample. Unknown sample. So what does it mean? So it means that spectrophotometer is what? Spectrophotometer is what? It is an instrument. And why this instrument is used? What is the use of this instrument? So this instrument is used to measure or find out the concentration. You will find out the, what you will find this instrument? Through this instrument, you will find out the concentration of any unknown sample. Okay. Suppose in the lab you have any unknown sample and you want to measure the concentration of that unknown sample. Then with the help of this spectrophotometer, you can easily measure the concentration of that unknown sample. Okay. Next point is that it is used for both. It is used for both qualitative and quantitative. That is, it is used for both qualitative and quantitative, both estimation. Estimation. Okay. So spectrophotometer, by spectrophotometer, you can find out both qualitative as well as quantitative estimation. Do you know any idea what is qualitative and quantitative? Qualitative means that a particular substance is present in that or not. Suppose you have a mixture of you have a sample, and in that sample you have a mixture of substances like sugar is there, protein is there, and you want to specifically measure the sugar in that solution. Okay, so that is qualitative. So by this you can measure whether sugar is present in that unknown sample or not. A quantity means how much that thing is present. What is the quantity? What is that means? What is the amount of that substance in that unknown solution. So it is used for both qualitative purpose also as well as quantitative purpose also. This can be as your MCQ. Okay, this can be as MCQ, like spectrophotometer is used for both qualitative estimation, quantitative estimation, both, none of these. So you will mark both because it is used for both qualitative as well as quantitative. Okay. Next is that it is used for what kind of sample? It is used for all. Like you can use it for solid sample, you can use it for liquid sample, and you can also use for it gas sample. Okay. So spectrophotometer, with the help of spectrophotometer, you can measure all solid sample, whether it's a solid, whether it's a liquid, or whether it's a gas. Okay. So all kind of sample, solid, liquid, and gas, you can assess the concentration of that sample by spectrophotometer. Alright. Next thing is that it is used for colorful as well as colorless. That is, it is used for both colorful and colorless sample. colorful and colorless sample. What does it mean? It means that through with the help of your spectrophotometer, you can measure both, whether your sample is colorless, whether your sample is colorful. So it doesn't matter that your sample should be only colorful, then only you can measure. No, if your sample is colorless also, then you can also measure the concentration of that unknown sample with the help of this spectrophotometer. Okay, so let's understand it once again. What is spectrophotometer? It is what? It is a kind of instrument. So it is an instrument which is used to find out or measure the concentration of an unknown sample. If you have any known sample and you want to measure the concentration, then you will use a spectrophotometer. Used for both qualitative as well quantitative estimation, solid, liquid and gas. In all kind of sample you will use it, and both for colorful as well as for colorless sample. Okay. Now comes on the principle. On which principle? What is the principle on which this spectrophotometer works? What is the principle of this spectrophotometer? Okay. So one thing is that every substance has a property that it can absorb the light of particular wavelength. Okay, this is the property of every substance, that every substance has a property that it can absorb a light of particular wavelength, and if it will absorb the light of particular wavelength, and by measuring the intensity of that light, you can measure the concentration of a known sample. Okay, similarly the principle is based of spectrophotometer. So what is principle and how you will write it? So principle is that you will write every substance absorb light of particular wavelength. Okay, every substance absorb light of particular wavelength. Okay, this is the property of every substance, that every substance has a property that it can absorb the light of particular wavelength. Okay, then spectrophotometer works on, how it works? It works on the principle that substance absorb light of particular wavelength, and measure the intensity of light. Okay, and measure the what? Intensity of light. Okay, so on this principle spectrophotometer works, and basically it works on, it is based on, its principle is what? Its principle is based on two laws. What that two laws? One is Beer's law. One is your Beer's law. And other is your Lambert's law. Okay. So spectrophotometer works on these two laws. One is Beer's law, other is Lambert's law, and we will just combine together, and together these are known as Lambert's-Beer's law. When these two laws are combined together, then they are together known as Lambert's-Beer law. Okay, so the question can be asked as an MCQ or in Viva, that on which law spectrophotometer works. So spectrophotometer works on the Lambert's-Beer law. Okay, so let's understand what these laws is saying. What is the Beer's law and what is your Lambert's law? So what is your, first understand what is your Beer's law. So Beer's law state that, what is Beer's law saying? Beer's law state that when a parallel beam of monochromatic light, what is this law say? When parallel beam of what? Parallel beam of your what kind of light? When a parallel beam of your monochromatic light. Okay, monochromatic light. So when a parallel beam of monochromatic light passed through a solution, then what happened? Then the absorbance, that is how much that light is absorbed by that substance, then absorbance is directly proportional. Absorbance is directly proportional to concentration of that solution. Okay. So what does this Beer's law said? Beer's law said when you will pass a parallel beam of monochromatic light through any solution, then what will happen? The absorbance, that is A. Absorbance, you can write a A. Then absorbance is directly proportional to the concentration of that solution. Okay. That means A is directly proportional to your C. A is what? A is your absorbance. What is A stands for? A is your absorbance and C is your concentration of that solution. Got it? So A is directly proportional to C. This Beer's law said. That is, absorbance is directly proportional to the concentration of solution. Okay. Now comes on the Lambert's law. What Lambert's law is saying? This is your Beer's law. Now comes what your Lambert's law is saying. Okay. So what is your Lambert's law? What is the Lambert's law? Your Lambert's law is saying that A is directly proportional to L. What is A here? A is your, what is A? A is your absorbance. A is your absorbance and L is your path length. So what you will write, if you want to write in a theoretical form, so you will write the absorbance. What Lambert's law said? Lambert's law said that the absorbance is directly proportional to the path length of that light. Okay. That means A is directly proportional to L. And when you will combine together these laws, that when you will combine Beer's and Lambert's law together, then it becomes your Lambert's-Beer's law. Then it becomes your Lambert's-Beer law. Okay. You will combine both these laws together. Then what? It becomes Lambert's and Beer law together. Then what you have studied in your Beer's law? Beer's law states that absorbance is directly proportional to your concentration, and your Lambert's law say absorbance is directly proportional to your path length. So when you will combine together, then what? A is directly proportional to C and L. Okay. If you will combine Beer's law and Lambert's law together, then what it will ultimately say? A is directly proportional to Cl, that is, absorbance is directly proportional to your concentration of that substance and absorbance is directly proportional to path length of that substance. Okay. If we will remove this sign of proportionality, then we can write A is equals to KCl. K is what? K is some kind of constant here. Got it? So this is your A equals to KCl. K is what? K is nothing but it is a constant, because we just remove this, the sign of proportionality, and as we know it before, if we remove any sign of proportionality, then a constant will come over there. Okay. So A equals to KCl. That means Beer's law stated that the absorbance of any substance is directly proportional to the concentration of that solution, as well as it is directly proportional to the path length of light, that path length that light travels inside the solution. And spectrophotometer works on both these law. Okay. So spectrophotometer works on your both these Lambert's and Beer's law. Okay. This is the principle of your spectrophotometer. Okay. Now comes what are the types of a spectrophotometer. Okay. What are types of a photometer? So what are the types? So on the basis of your beam, that is on the basis whether you were using single beam or whether you are using double beam, on that basis your spectrophotometer is of two types. One is your single beam, spectrophotometer, other is your double beam spectrophotometer. Okay, other is your double beam spectrophotometer. Okay, so one is single beam, one is double beam. In the next session, we will understand how the single beam and double beam are different each other and how this instrumentation will work. Okay, now here you have to know, but you have a basic idea, that is there are two types of this spectrophotometer. One is single beam spectrophotometer, other is your double beam spectrophotometer. Okay. This classification is what? This classification is on the basis of your beam. You just classify the spectrophotometer on the basis of your beam. Okay. And there is another classification. First classification is based on the basis of your beam. And second classification is your spectrophotometer is based on what? Based on light source. What kind of light source you are using, on that basis. Spectrophotometer is divided into three types. One is your UV light spectrophotometer, other is your visible light spectrophotometer, and another is your infrared spectrophotometer. So it is based on the light source, whether you are using UV light, whether you are using visible light or using infrared. On this basis, there are three types of spectrophotometer. One is UV light spectrophotometer, visible light spectrophotometer, and infrared spectrophotometer. So what is the range of this your UV light? The range of this UV light is 180 to 400 nanometer. Okay. This is what? This is the range of your UV light, 180 to 400 nanometer. Okay. And visible range is what? Visible range is your 400 to 700 nanometer. This is the visible light range. And infrared, it ranges from 700 to 1500 nanometer. Got it? So, on the basis of what kind of light you are using in the light source. So, spectrophotometer is UV light, visible light and infrared light. UV light, what is the range of that light? That is 180 to 400 nanometer. And visible light, the range is that of 400 to your 700 nanometer. And infrared, what is the range of your light? That is 700 to 1500 nanometer. Okay. And on the basis of what kind of light sources you are using in your spectrophotometer, the cuvette. Have you seen the cuvette in your lab? No? It's a small test tube in which you can carry your solution. Okay. So, on the basis of what kind of light sources you will use in spectrophotometer, according to that light source, the material of that cuvette will decided. Okay. How is it? Let's understand that. Suppose if you are using UV light, then here you will using quartz cuvette. Quartz cuvette. Quartz is the material. No? So, if you are using UV light spectrophotometer, then the cuvette which you will use in spectrophotometer, that is your quartz. That cuvette is made up of quartz. Okay. In visible light, what kind of cuvette you will use? You will use either plastic or glass cuvette. Okay. Either your cuvette is made up of plastic material or your cuvette will be made up of glass material. Okay. And infrared, what kind of cuvette? You will using rock salt cuvette. Okay. You will use rock salt cuvette. So, this is the classification of your spectrophotometer. Once again, on the basis of beam. On the basis of beam, you have divided the spectrophotometer into two. One is single beam spectrophotometer, other is your double beam spectrophotometer. And on the basis of light sources, that is what kind of light source you are using. On that basis, it is divided into three categories. UV light spectrophotometer, visible light spectrophotometer and your infrared spectrophotometer. Okay. So, UV light, what is the range? 180 to 400 nanometer. And what kind of cuvette you will use? Quartz cuvette you will use here. The cuvette which is made up of, which is used in UV light spectrophotometer, that is made up of your quartz. In visible light, the range is your 400 to your 700 nanometer and your cuvette is made up of what kind of material? Either plastic or glass cuvette you will use. In infrared, the range is that of 700 to 1500 nanometer and you will use rock salt cuvette. Got it? Understand? Now, we will understand what are the applications of this spectrophotometer. That is, Application means in which field you will use this spectrophotometer. Okay. So comes on the next our heading, that is of your applications. What are the applications? Okay. So what are the applications of your spectrophotometer? Okay. What are the applications? So first, what is the application? It is used to what? It is used to measure the concentration of unknown sample. Concentration of any unknown sample. Okay. Unknown sample. If there is any unknown sample, so with the help of your spectrophotometer, you can easily measure the concentration. Second application, where it is used? It is used in biochemistry, as you are studying. It is used in biochemistry. It is in your used in microbiology also, and used in hematology. Hematology. Okay. So first thing, it is used to measure the concentration of unknown sample. Second, it is used in biochemistry, microbiology and hematology, and it is used in forensic medicine also. It is used in where? It is used in forensic medicine also. Okay. And where other is used? You can measure the molecular weight. With the help of spectrophotometer, you can measure the molecular weight of unknown substance. If there is any unknown substance and you want to measure the molecular weight of that substance, then you will use this spectrophotometer. Okay. Then you can also measure the functional group of any unknown. If you want to measure what is the functional group. Okay. If you want to know what is the functional group is present in a particular substance, then you will use your what? You will use your spectrophotometer. Alright. Next is you will use it in pharmaceutical companies. Pharmaceutical companies. You will use it in your food and drug industries. Food industry. Okay. Pharmaceutical is your drug industry. You will use in pharmaceutical and food industry. Alright, so these are the main applications of your spectrophotometer. First thing, you know, what is the main use? So, with the main use of a spectrophotometer is that you can measure the concentration of any unknown sample. You will use a spectrophotometer in biochemistry to measure a variety of samples with having an unknown concentration. You can use it in microbiology, hematology, and you can also use in forensic medicine. Okay. And it is with the help of this spectrophotometer, you can measure the molecular weight of any unknown substance. With the help of this, you can measure the functional group. If you want to just check which functional group is present in any unknown sample, then you can use the spectrophotometer, and you can use it in pharmaceutical and your food industry. So these are the applications of your spectrophotometer, and we just understand what is the use of spectrophotometer, what is the principle of spectrophotometer, and what is the classification, how many types of spectrophotometer, and what are the application. In next session and next video, we will understand what is the instrumentation, how this spectrophotometer works, and what is the instrumentation of this spectrophotometer, and what is difference between single beam, double beam, and one important thing is that what is difference between colorimeter and spectrophotometer. Okay. So in next session we will study that. Thank you.